Hello and welcome to the online portion of class. I would like to talk with you a little bit today about the use of a website called Sophia for Teachers, and I also want to tie up a few other loose ends in the class as we come to the end of the term. I'd like to talk a little bit today about effective instructional use of the internet. The Common Core state standards have very meaningfully and purposefully described different ways that technology ought to be incorporated into curriculum. And specifically, the Common Core state standards talk about the use of research. The Common Core state standards have very specific language indicating that students need to learn how to research, which means developing effective search strategies, and that these kinds of skills are embedded throughout all that they're doing. So there's not a separate standard that specifically focuses on developing research skills. That being said, it doesn't preclude the use of the internet for other purposes beyond learning how to search. And that means that in any curricular areas that we want to teach, we do want to give students specific opportunities to access the myriad of resources available on the internet. So that means that while we do need to give students opportunities to develop effective and efficient search strategies, which is something that the information literacy assignment helped you to think about when we completed that earlier in the semester, it also means that as teachers, we need to determine the type of content that would be meaningful and useful within our curricular areas that we would want to direct students to without having to spend class time making them try to search for useful sites. So that means that as teachers, we need to screen useful websites and we need to direct students directly to those sites so that we don't have to spend class time searching. Searching may yield really good information, but it also might engage students in a lot of time that probably could be spent doing other things that doesn't necessarily get them to sites that are either at the reading level or that would include useful information. And one of the neat things I think about being able to structure purposeful use of the internet is that you can direct different students or different groups of students to a variety of sites so that those who are reading at different levels don't necessarily know that the sites they're accessing are specifically chosen by you for them based on reading level, but it also allows students to be sent to websites that offer a variety of perspectives that can then come together collectively when they're in a group setting to discuss and inform and broaden their perspectives about things. One of the key reasons to use the internet beyond the amount of textual information that's out there is the fact that the internet also includes a variety of information that is video-based, animations, interactive, audio, images, multimedia sites that can really help students internalize content in a way that is a little more difficult when we're just dealing with either discussions in class or text-based information. And in thinking about your use of the internet with your students, what's really important is that you don't just send them to purely drill and practice kinds of websites, but that you think about sending them to sites that will, with your support and scaffolding, engage them in critical thinking. So that means you might need to do a little bit of preparation ahead of time to come up with questions to ask students to ponder as they interact with the information. We are going to use a resource, a free resource called Sophia for Teachers that allows you to create what they call tutorials. And tutorials can be a combination of a variety of different types of media that can be customized to your students. And it includes a quiz feature that allows you to kind of track their progress through the content, as well as it provides analytic information about how students are actually using the different resources at the site. So the first thing you need to do is create an account and log into it, which I have already done. And then you're going to click this little home button right here, which will take you to the main Sophia site. And this site is basically the spot where you can connect to just about everything. You can create groups, which is what you would want to do if you do want to track student use of your tutorials. We're not going to do that for this class, but it's something that you are welcome to explore. And you can do some other things right here. You probably do want to change your profile initially, otherwise you'll get a newsletter electronically from Sophia. We're going to go ahead and create a new tutorial. And basically the format of Sophia will walk you through whatever you want to create. We are going to give our tutorial a name. So I'm going to use water cycle, and it allows you to choose an image that will be displayed for the tutorial, so you can find an image online and use that. I'm just going to go ahead and keep the default for now. It does make you create or select a subject for the tutorial that you're creating. So I'm just going to hit basic science, and then I'm going to click create. So this will be the initial tutorial. It will be a blank shell initially, and then I'm going to come up here under actions and I'm going to say edit tutorial info, and in this spot is where I can type in objectives, and there's also a summary area. Under the objective, what I would like for you to do is paste the standard or standards that align with the tutorial, or if you're a counseling student or special ed student, then you can type in either IEP goals or counseling objectives. And then under the summary, I want you to type the grade level that you are targeting for this particular tutorial. So after you go through all of that, then scroll down to the bottom. There are other choices that you can make, but we'll just ignore for now and click Save. And then what you can do is come down to the tutorial area and you will begin adding your components. So under Insert, it gives you several options. The first of which is text or image, which is the one that we'll be using. In addition to text and images, it has an equation editor. So for those of you who are wanting to do things in mathematics, it's a really nice opportunity for that. It's also the spot where you can create hyperlinks to different websites. Video is another option. It will allow you to link either to a YouTube video or a video on Vimeo, or you can upload your own videos. It also allows you to create screen recordings, which means that you can narrate whatever is on your screen, for example, an image, and you can talk about the image, or you can demo how to use a certain program. So all of that is done within Sophia. We're not going to do that in this class, although you are welcome to give it a try. The slideshow option allows you to upload existing PowerPoint slides. Audio would allow you to upload MP3, MP4, WAV, and some other audio files. PDF is just that. And HTML would allow you to embed HTML code, which can be really useful if you have a form that you've created in Google that you would like students to fill out. When you create the form in Google Docs, it will give you source code that you can embed here. So I'm going to start with text and image, and that will bring up an area where I can do my editing. So I can type in a title,
And then the actual text area is this bigger box down here. So you can create links to resource. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a way where it will open in a new window for the user. So let's say that what I would like to have happen is for students to click on Resource 1 and go to another website. So I select that text, I click the hyperlink, and then I can paste in the web address. And what I would like for you to do is click on the Target tab and then say Open in New Window. So that way when students close the window, they return to your Sophia tutorial. So it looks like this. When they are viewing it live, it will actually not be underlined. It will just be in a different color. There are some other things you can do here. If you click on this little image icon, it will allow you to upload any image that you already have on your computer or other drive. You can set some other properties for it, but it is there. So if you wanted to upload an image and then have text to describe that image, you can do that. And then the other feature that I wanted to at least share with you is this equation editor. So if you click on the square root sign, it will open a separate window, and this has all of your different mathematical functions and symbols and things. So you can use that to create some pretty nice looking mathematical equations. So if I just click accept, it will import that into my document. So I am going to remove that because I really don't want it there, but that's what you can do. So then next you can, you can provide citations to sources if necessary, and then click the Save button, and it will save the information that you have. Here's what it looks like. So if I click on Resource 1, it then opens in another tab, and so if the students close it, they return back to the tutorial. You can see it also gives you some additional insert options. We can go back and edit what we've already done, so that works nicely as well. So the next thing I'd like to demo is inserting a video. So I'm going to choose that option. It gives me the opportunity to add a title. So I'm just going to say water cycle video. And then I can either choose a file that I already have, or I can paste a URL from YouTube or video. So you can also type in a description of it and then click Save. And this will then appear embedded within your Sophia tutorial. So if you click to play, it doesn't actually go to YouTube. It stays within the tutorial. Students can still make it full screen by clicking on the widen option down here. So it's a really nice feature. And again, you will see that you can insert additional components underneath that or above it. So you really have all kinds of options for customizing your tutorial. The next thing I'd like to show you is how you add a quiz. So you just click the Add a Quiz button over here. The quiz requires a minimum of 4 questions to be included. It will only show 3 of them to students, and it will show 3 at random. It will also randomly put the answers in different orders for different students. So kind of keep that in mind. You will just add the questions, so we can type in a question. You'll also notice over here that if you want to add an image or formula, you can do that. And then you can just add as many answers as you want. So the more you add, the more boxes it will give you. And then you can just click on the circle to indicate the correct answer. So you click Done, and I need to have 4 questions here. So I'm just going to type in some miscellaneous characters on the keyboard right now just to get my questions in there. And I need one more, so this will be my 4th question. Again, it won't work unless you have a minimum of 4. Okay, so I'm done with my quiz, and then I'm going to click Save. If you don't actually have 4 questions in the quiz, then it won't be displayed to students. So that's the reason why you need to have that many. If you only have 3 or fewer, then it won't even show any of them to the students. So once you have your quiz there, you can come in, you can edit it, so you can go in as much as you want. And then the key to getting this to be displayed to others is to click on the link that says Tutorial Publishing Options. So you need to publish to the world, or if you have created a group, you can publish just to that group so it doesn't go out to everybody as a broadcast. But we haven't created a group, so we're going to say Publish to the World. Click on Save Settings. And then it shows you the web address at the top, which you can copy. And when you're ready to submit into Blackboard, you will find the hyperlink to Sophia, which is very near the bottom. And you are going to, in the comments box, just paste that web address and hit submit. That will get it to your instructor. And that is basically an overview of what you can do in Sophia. It's totally customizable, totally free. You can really create a lot of interesting things, especially if you use some of the other features that I didn't demo or that are not required. Please take a look at the assignment requirements, which are posted in Blackboard, and also there's an instruction sheet there as well. Have fun!
So this assignment is due in Blackboard at the beginning of your class session in which you begin your ethics WebQuest presentations. So depending on when you're watching the video, that might give you a little bit more or a little bit less than a week to actually complete the assignment. I also want to just remind you that there is a discussion board post up through your last one will actually be on the first night of Ethics WebQuest presentations. So be sure that you are following along in Blackboard to make sure you're reading or viewing videos and then responding to the discussion board posts weekly based on the pattern that has been established during the semester. In terms of the Ethics WebQuest, I also just want to give you a couple of reminders. You need to be prepared to present right away beginning at the onset of the class in which your presentations will begin. There's not going to be time in class that night for you to make preparations. We need to be able to just get groups going. So come with your content, either if it's something you're going to present, either have it on a flash drive or have it as something that you can log into very, very quickly because we can't spend a lot of time transitioning between groups. Also, just a reminder, there is an individual contribution evaluation form in Blackboard that you need to complete for each member of your group. If you navigate to the Ethics WebQuest assignment, inside the folder is a link to an individual contribution document, so group member evaluation form. You will open the form and you will fill it in with each group member name, including yourself. So you would type your name in there and then you would type in the names of your other group members. And you're going to actually type in a numerical value reflecting your evaluation of the contribution each person made. So if you feel that each member of your group did what you discussed as a group each person was going to contribute, then you can give that group member up to 5 points. If you feel that one or more of your group members didn't uphold their end of things, or they didn't contribute to the extent that was expected, then you can type in a score that's less than a 5. So you will also type in a comment for each person relative to their contribution. So you can type in why you gave the person the score that they did, perhaps talking about specifically how they contributed to the group. After you complete that document and save it, then that's actually the only thing that you're going to submit to Blackboard with regard to your presentation. So when you scroll down under submission and go to ethics, you are going to upload that individual contribution document. So everything else, the rest of your score will be comprised of your presentation as well as your wiki, but the individual contribution is 5 points out of 20 for the assignment. Lastly, I would just like to very briefly mention the fact that we do have a Master of Arts in Education with major would be curriculum and instruction, and area of concentration would be educational technology. So if any of you are interested in pursuing that, the web address that would take you to information about it is listed below. The content of the MA program, there are 5 courses in educational technology. There is an intro to research course that's required of all MA in education programs. You would have to take either a qualitative or quantitative research class after the intro to research, and then you'd have 1 elective. In addition, you would take 2 units or 2 enrollments in a project or thesis. So it would be 10 courses total, 8 that would be in the classroom really, and then 2 enrollments in project or thesis. So the EdTech courses are mostly online courses. There's a couple of them where you might have a few meetings during the semester, but it kind of makes it a flexible program for people in terms of time. The course content deals with, there's one that's Advanced Integration Strategies, which follows very nicely from EDIT 4170. There's a multimedia development course. There's one course that deals with social, ethical, and legal issues of technology, both in education and society at large. There's one course that is kind of a combination of technology for staff development or helping staff learn how to use technology, grant writing, a little bit about networking, like the hardware, software, although the course is not designed to make people a network expert by any means. It's not a techie class, so it's just basic understanding of networking. And then the last EdTech class, and they're not in any particular order, but that one deals with research related to technology and teaching and learning, as well as data-driven decision making. So if you're interested, the web address that I list here also has a link to my contact information, so I'd be happy to answer questions via email or via phone, or we can set up a meeting via Skype. But just be aware that we have the program. You're welcome to enroll at any time. And I strongly encourage you to do so, especially with the coming of the Common Core and the way technology is embedded into the Common Core standards. So that concludes the presentation. I hope that you found meaningful information here. Certainly you're welcome to go back and replay any of the content related to developing the Filamentality site as needed. See you soon.